Because to me, you are a man who absolutely needs no introduction, but let me do it. You were here for our 30th conversations with the author when we were unpacking Gifted, Haunted, and Haunted, and Wait to be Seated. You are back for our 50th conversations with the author. I have to thank you for coming back, and thank you for always taking the time to chat with me. Ladies and gentlemen, Hosea Ramphekwa. I feel like I want to call you my friend because now I know you so much.
Oh, it's okay.
I've read your work. Okay, now we are on Garangar Ejo Horse.
That's what my friends call me, so you might as well.
Yes, we're friends.
Yeah.
Welcome to State Theatre once again. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being such an advocate for literature. And thank you for being a friend of Conversations with the Author. And thank you for being my friend.
Awesome. I just added one friend today.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, we become official friends.
Yes.
Yeah. It will be a pleasure.
Go
Thanks.
Facebook. Plus, you were offline for a long time, but now I can understand because if you have to produce this, you kind of have to disappear. Ne?
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks to you for having me, and also to the leadership of this institution. It's such a great honor to be here, and also my family and my friends who are here, and also everyone else who's here.
Yeah.
Who might be my friends just like you at a later stage.
Yes.
So it's such a great pleasure and an honor to be here. Yeah.
So as a person who have read Gabrega, now this is me bragging. Normally I don't brag, I'm not a show off, but by exception is just for today. As a person who have read all of your work, from Yellow Bone with a Black Heart, from Gifted, Hunted, and Haunted, to Wait to be Seated, and now to be reading this. I don't want to say you get better with your writing because you've always been such a brilliant writer. But there's so much growth because I was sitting there in my living room reading this and like, this can't be the same guy. Come on. Because also the last time we were here, we had such a back and forth talking, telling us women to sit down. I was like, who does he think he is? But now, this growth comes with what?
Growth is actually inevitable. As an individual, you have to grow, either in years and also mentally, you have to grow. But also, it's an intentional thing that you do as a writer or musician, whatever. You choose to grow, so you can remain. But the world actually it's changing at a rapid pace. So you also have to level up. So I try by all means to make sure that I grow in whatever that I do. Reading, relationships. I just want to become better and better. So I live by a mantra. One of my philosophical go-to guy is called Dr. Cornel West. He says you may not change the world, but you have to live it a little better than you found it. So that's my endeavor, that's my quest.
Yeah.
So in writing, that's what I try to do. And I don't know, with the latest book, my best friend told me that, you know what, Horse, I've got bad news for you. I don't think you'll ever write a greater book than this one. So I'm under enormous pressure. That's why I've just given up. I'm not writing anything at the moment.
Listen, I have to meet your best friend because he was spot on. Because I wanted to say congratulations, but even that doesn't sound fitting enough. Not only, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. And because good feeling your buga, people who have copies right now, and then when you open it, and then you get this little like you get a wing. I was calling it a wing. You get a wing, ne? Do you know how costly it is now that I know book production and stuff? How costly it is to produce such a beauty. This is gorgeous. And you went above and beyond, and for the subject that you picked, because I was also like, okay, you kind of have to go all out. But the feel of this book, the pages, the scent, those of us who smell books. Apparently it's a sickness, so we are all a support group. For those of us who sniff books, you go through the pages. You have produced a beautiful body of work. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. That deserves.
Yeah, actually that is comforting given that this book, I think it's been 8 years in the making.
8?
Yeah, because I started researching the book in 2018, actually, yeah. From 2018, I decided that no, I need to wrestle this beast and bring about a book and looking at a phenomenal figure in a form of Pitso Mosimane, who is an incredible person, very inspirational, given what he has achieved. So I thought the level of writing and also the quality of the production has to meet actually the kind of personality that we are dealing with. So I had to go all out.
You did. You must be all empty.
Yeah, I've been telling my friends that I'm emotionally, psychologically depleted. Yeah, I need to just get back into reading and recharge. I don't know when will I write again.
I also don't know when you'll write again, because I would hear a lot of artists say, oh, I played in this song, or I played in this production. You played in this book. So I don't even know how you say it.
Absolutely, because yeah, you have to go out. There's a sentence in the book. I don't know if I'm ahead of you.
No, please go. This is about you.
There's this sentence.
Well, and Remusimane, but mainly about you.
Yeah, there's a sentence I read in this book, and it comforts me. I read the sentence, and I went like, wow.
What you went wow with your own words?
Yeah, the sentence I wrote. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please. Go page, man.
It's on page 204.
Okay.
The chapter is called The Disciplinarian Behind Decoders and Landlines. So listen to the sentence. Men with immaculate first touches and magnetic controls, when receiving passes laden with fame and fortune from football, failed to get them under control, setting in motion a series of unfortunate events, damning them in the eyes of their loved ones and the public.
Wow. So I will echo what you said after reading it. Wow. So what I'm trying to explain is your craftsmanship into, you put out a body of work that's absolutely going to outlive all of us in this room. But it's going to stand the test of time in a sense that we are always going to reference it. And to do that it has to take everything. So again, congratulations. But let's talk about the subject that you picked, because I mean, Hosea, after all, you could absolutely write about anyone under the sun, and you picked this guy. Why?
Why Pitso Mosimane?
Yeah.
I think his life story it's incredible and inspirational. So, okay, first of all, when I write for two reasons, or maybe just the main reason is to inspire hope and also inspire healing to some extent. So with my other books, maybe written or yet to be written, but hope it's at the center because somewhere in the Bible it says to everyone who's still alive, there's hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. So, and hope deferred makes the heart sick. So, but let me not go deeper into the Bible. So, South Africa, we are in a country where we're grappling with a lot of challenges, socio-economic, and not everyone is going to make it in South Africa. And when you look at someone like Pitso Mosimane out of the streets of Kagiso and also Soweto, having survived apartheid, and it's not apartheid. It's as ugly as I...
It's not apartheid?
No, apartheid. It's as ugly as I pronounce it.
Okay.
So, having gone through so many challenges with his self-belief, he went all the way to the top. And I sought to actually paint a picture of hope, using Pitso as a canvas on which I draw this painting of hope for many South Africans from different walks of life to really glean on the pearls of wisdom emanating and the lessons emanating from his life so that they can do better for themselves and be inspired.
Yeah.
I get inspired by Pitso himself because of the kind of hard work he puts. And I ask myself a question to say, if Pitso was a journalist and I was the coach, what would Pitso do? He'll probably write a book about me. And that's what I did.
I don't know. I don't see it.
But Miss Diti, you read the book.
I don't see it because I think Pitso man is he's all about him. He would have written a book about himself.
No, what does he do best? Does he write best or coaches best?
I haven't read anything from him. Does he? He's been saying he's going to write a book. Has he finally? I mean,
he's a top coach.
he mustn't see this. By the way, no, I give a try to come because if I can't have melody referee go the dressing room after game, nah. So the thing he's about him. So I think if he were to write about somebody, he would find it very, very difficult. And just so you know, I extended an invite to him to give him a right of reply because at the South African State Theatre, we are very accommodating. We want people to come in, and it's home. I mean, the CEO said this is home for everybody. And you can guess what he said.
I feel at home.
Oh, you do? I'm so glad you can kick off your shoes. No, don't. You want to guess what he said?
Oh, yeah.
For the invitation. Did he not ignore me?
Blotic?
Yeah. Did the team say he's unavailable?
He's busy.
Yeah, he's let's give him
very
that.
busy developing football
man.
in this country.
He's a very busy man, but he wasn't going to come here. He wasn't going to come. If we just face this fact, he doesn't like you very much right now, does he?
He doesn't like me.
Does he?
Okay.
Like right now? Especially
Let's go look at the pictures.
Maybe before, when you would meet there with your lunches and stuff, naho favor. But now, I don't know. I mean, but anyway, let's talk about Pitso Mosimane. I just wanted to state that he was invited. So this guy would go on the field and measure the length of the grass. See, I'm assuming that I'm one of the few in between who's not a soccer fan, like a soccer girly. I can understand the soccer. It's a goal. Fail. So I wouldn't follow it. That day because people would say, hey, the winner, like, yes, we are winners. No? But the science that goes behind it, so he goes on the field and measures the grass to say it must be certain centimeters, it must be wet or dry, it must be. Please take us through it because I thought it was insane until I actually thought, no, but there are people in other fields who do certain things. Like, for example, I don't want to speak about our CEO because he's here, but work starts at 9, he gets here at 6. Like, what are you doing here at 6?
Yeah, it speaks to dedication and also dedication and attention to detail. So Pitso Mosimane is so detailed in his work that he checks everything from the grass, the type of soccer boots that players use, the behavior of everyone who's involved, from referees, the ball boys, everyone who's involved in, because in Pitso's world, he wants to win at all costs. Yeah. So the grass does have an impact on the role of the ball. and it might not. Those who have played soccer will tell you. I used to play soccer. I wasn't good enough. But I think I was 50% gifted when it comes to soccer. So I'm the barometer. If I'm better than you, you are worse.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
you were the example, but not the
No.
good example. No,
No, not that. I'm the type that one day I'm on song. I'm the best player on the pitch. Then the following day, no consistency whatsoever.
Okay.
And with success, consistency is required.
Yeah.
You know, you release a book now, the next book becomes something else.
Yes.
That's why the next time I'm sitting here, I would have written another blockbuster, I hope.
I'm already looking forward to it. 'Cause that's
Awesome.
what you've been doing. You've been upping the ante. You set the bar so high.
Thank you.
I don't know what other writers are going to do now.
Okay.
But yeah.
Let's get
carry
back
on.
to Pitso.
Yes,
So
yes.
So he does analysis. He analyzes the grass and all that. Okay, for example, during his coaching days at Mamelodi Sundowns, Sundowns used to use, even today, they are using two venues, which is Loftus Versfeld and also Lucas Moripe Stadium. So Loftus, it's a bit cold because there's shade. So in Atteridgeville, the stadium is open, so the sun can easily penetrate. So when he plays teams from North Africa, like Al Ahly, Zamalek, Wydad, so in that part of town or in that part of the continent, they play their games at night, so under the lights. So when they play Pitso's teams, he takes them to Atteridgeville during the day so that the sun can really unleash its wrath on those North Africans who are not used to it. So it's a way of winning. And also, the guys that cut the grass at the stadium, he talks to them. And he tells them, oh no, this grass is spongy, it's too heavy, it will affect the players. And when he plays teams from, let's say, other parts of Africa, maybe Southern, where they don't play at night, they are used to playing during the day and the sun, they are used to the sun. So he'll have them play at night. So they see the lights. And also, he'll pour water on the grass and tell his players the type of boots to use so that they can adapt and be at home. And then those are the ones they use different type of boots. And they'll be falling all over the show.
Yeah, they'll be at a disadvantage.
Yes. So you need tactics. It's similar to politics. So part of leadership and politics, because Pitso is also well vested with the politics of South African football. He knows on whose toes to step and who not to step on.
Yeah, but also that makes him, I don't know if it makes him a genius or just simply conniving. Because, I mean,
No,
when he goes, when the team goes to play across, he will train them go Atteridgeville so they get used to the sun. So when they get there, it's smooth sailing for them. But when they come, those teams are in trouble. And nobody's figuring this out.
It's preparation. Just like you read the book.
Yeah.
You could have easily gone to ChatGPT and got all the questions. What to ask Hosea Ramphekwa about his book on Pitso, and then you throw in a few things, and then it will go trrr. And by the way, if there are writers in this room, I'm so sorry. I don't like ChatGPT. It's terrible. Because if you are brilliant, it will bring you down to average. And if you are average, it will take you up to good. So,
that is an interesting observation.
yes, because technology is beautiful. It brings a lot of things.
Yeah.
Similarly to football,
Yeah.
to our lives and all that. I don't know, I go to church and I see kids, on YouTube. Man, YouTube. Or maybe I'm a son of a pastor, so I grew up in church doing scriptures and all that. But that's the bad side of technology. But also with technology is beautiful. Like Coach Pitso is well vested in technology.
He is.
He brought a revolution in South Africa where soccer players have to watch their own matches. He says, hey, well, I want to hear you were slacking. You were supposed to pass. You didn't track back. You didn't do this and that. And soccer players became smarter and smarter. But with technology, what it does, it brings everybody together. But how do you stand out? That's what makes Pitso to stand out. Because he goes beyond the call of duty, researching. He knows which players, players, they get up to a lot of no good things. So he knows this one was drinking where. And he will get the information.
Maramokong, nasa Westanyana, because then after the games, sometimes you wrote this, by the way.
Yeah.
Kesar, I heard you said he would wait for referees outside the door after a match. Ante phone. And this was not the offside that you said it was the offside. Gilele onside, let me show you. I was like, oh, childish. Like
no.
Man.
But you need to understand, Pete, what you need. So part of the reasons I wrote this book, I wanted to understand Pete. Yes. So people need to understand it. So Pitso lives for one thing and one thing only, winning. So if a referee makes a mistake and it leads to a loss, Pitso will have a go at that referee. It doesn't matter who the referee is.
But the game is over. The referee, all the referee can say is sorry, my brother.
But
and that's
in
it,
your world,
the game is done. It's finished.
Yes, in your world it doesn't mean much. But in Pitso's world it means, in Pitso's world, winning is everything.
Yeah.
And actually it's the only thing. So you need to understand. So that's why Pitso will fight referees. He will fight presidents. He will fight even journalists. Yeah, there were days where Pitso will come, after a match, he'll come give me a hug and say, hey, also right. And then the other day, after a match, I'll ask him a question, being a veteran. So on some time, he'll say, no, horse is here. But then one day I'll ask a question with 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience.
Well, actually, you know who Pitso Mosimane is by name and by title, by trade. As a person who was not into his field of trade, I feel like I know him now because of this. So if he was the type of guy to say, I'm going to write a book about myself, this is the one that he should have written. So maybe that's why he's not a fan at this moment. He'll come around, because he usually does. Like about 10 years, he usually comes around. I mean, with Robert Marawa, it took him how long to come around? He will come around eventually, but after how many years? So you also, what was a nice surprise for me going through the book is that you also had conversations with other people, other journalists, your colleagues, and about how they felt about him and how they've experienced him. And for a while I was going, wait, so Hosea's not going to talk about, he's not going to add himself in this thing, like, I want to hear what he said to him, and I was cruising nicely, relaxing, thinking you have put yourself aside. And then I find sprinkles of you, and I'm like, yes, well done. Or tricky, because now I thought you made it like so outside of you. Like you took yourself out of the equation and you were just telling everybody stories and interviewing. And then you brought yourself in. I was like, yes. That's the gist of it. How did you manage that balance? I was very curious, because how do you, and then but not overdo it? Because I would also thought, if you're going to put so much time researching this, make it about you some more. So what are you doing?
Yeah, but I'm not that interested. I don't think I am. So
I mean, I've read your other work. I think.
Yeah, but that's just little things that happen in my life. And I've not written my own story, which I probably will do when I'm 60 or so, because I don't think so. But it's not really about me, because there's another journalist who wrote, I forgot his name. His name is Mark. He wrote a book about Donald Trump. So the title of the book is Trump and Me. So he's just talking about, because he used to work for the New Yorker. So they sent him to go and do a profile on Donald Trump. So So he followed Trump everywhere. Business meetings and all that. So he said, Trump and me. And Trump's comment when the book came out, he said, nah, actually, you know what? Your book is boring. So, but imagine me all the way from Limpopo, a village called Lepepane, hoeing myself into Pitso's life. I don't think people will be interested in such.
It would have been, but you managed to keep it. So, but I want to read this line, because
okay.
of how you...
What page are you on?
Humor, I'm at the very beginning. The humor of it all, because once I read this line, I was like, wait, I need to talk to somebody else who actually, I think that they know this guy. Would he really say this? And they'd be like, yeah, he would. So on page 21, for those who already have their copies, for those who don't have their copies yet, they are available for sale, you guys. I'll swipe there. Otherwise, my page 21, just second paragraph, ne? Mola sentence, open quote. Renara rapela go Sundowns. Hona mushi o tswela go di dressing room. Musikile wa winisa mang. So so he's alluding to the fact that Rawina, because Rarapela are. So what is he insinuating? Okay, we know what he's insinuating, but what is he insinuating?
No, I need to give you a bit of context.
Please do.
So he was talking about a certain team from Limpopo. These teams, they use muti. So with muti, they
which certain team?
No, they know.
We are not saying the names. Which certain team from Limpopo? What's the name of this team?
Aren't you watching this podcast? Their former players are talking about taking the bath, going all over. So Pitso was talking about, we went there in Limpopo. There was Musi. They had to change. At some point, they changed outside the stadium. Outside the dressing room, because there was musi all over. So he says, no, Renara Rapper. And one of the guys that works at Sundowns is the one who leads the prayers. Yeah, they pray.
Yeah, Maranane get him a thing in
Watch the podcast.
I'm not watching. I don't have time for podcasts because I'm busy reading your work, Hosea.
Ooh,
but
I'm impressed.
But which team? So wait, it was also there was also a rumor when because he has a ritual, right? We can call it a ritual.
Yeah.
Where when he gets on the field and he walks around, he wants to feel what the lay of the land, so he can go back to the players and say, this is the state of affairs, this is the what we must do to win and tackle. So, and they were saying he was sprinkling stuff on the lawn.
Yeah.
They said this little ritual of his,
yeah, it's the assumption. I think even with another team there.
Which team?
In South Africa, there's another team, they have a chemical engineer. I saw one of their fences sitting here.
What was sitting where?
Someone the 1, 2, 3, 4th row.
Is there a soccer chest?
No, it's on the 4th row.
Blinding me.
A friend of mine sitting on the 4th row.
On the 4th row, okay.
And he's a man of God, but his team has got a chemical engineer.
Which team? That team entering go dressing room.
Check which teams are from Limpopo that have played in the PSL, so you can check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll just go check. It's common knowledge.
Okay. It's the very same team that said Mosimane sprinkles.
No.
The Moloning.
No. Actually, I was saying that normally when players and officials go to work, some it's for the purposes of chemistry, to distribute materials that sway the results in their favor. So I'm saying that with Pitso, it's all about checking the length of the grass and checking the conditions of the pitch.
Yeah.
Just to get the feel and also to tell the players, okay,
what is happening.
Yeah, so you need to be careful when you go down that particular flank.
And this is why I appreciate the way that you wrote about him so much, because he even went, these are the things that we wouldn't otherwise know. We would walk away with the assumption that he does mola molone while he's walking around, and he's measuring. And he went on to an extent of telling the caretaker, the guy who takes care of the lawn, to not go on holiday or to keep on working during holidays, because when they come back, they need to find the lawn, hosnadi gray patches.
Yes.
So those types of things are unacceptable. So he would sign for the fertilizer in his sleep, this guy.
Yeah.
Anything for the lawn.
Yeah, in one of the quotes, he complained about the pitch in Attridgeville. And so he was going on about that, and he said, actually, let me stop, because I've got a lot of stress in my job as a coach. I don't want to be a facilities manager. So, and also he talks to the guys who cut the grass. He knows them. It's like, hey, chief, why is the grass looking this way? And then I think he also said, some of you are looking at the grass from the top. It's muy fanfare. So when you get closer,
Yes,
it's not that.
it's a mess.
But it's really amazing. And by the way, Pitso knows which teams uses which type of grass, whether it's rye or kukui. So those are the names of the grass.
And he knows how to turn what grass into. I think it's a special skill. I think
yes, because
he is a genius. And yes, but he's a genius.
Yes, so also you have to know, like even now it's winter. So there's a type of grass that dies in winter, and then there's another grass that actually gets to flourish in winter. So at stadiums, they use those. Do you know that in Europe they spend millions on the grass? Because,
I didn't know that.
Yes, because they don't have the sun, unlike us in Africa. So they get some form of lighting technology. So they put it at the temperature of the sun so that it can take care of the grass there. So in Europe, when you get there, the big stadiums, they write, stay off the pitch. So you don't touch the grass. It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you are Lionel Messi, you can't step on that grass when they are revealing you because you are messing with the process. So there's so much that is actually invested in this. Similarly to Africans, one of the things that bothers me as a South African is parents or community at large. We don't do enough to invest in knowledge. Do you know how painful it is? Somebody calls me and they say, hey, Hos, my 18-year-old boy is such a superstar in soccer. So where was he at the age of 12? That you didn't take him to relevant places. Do you know how we were parented?
Is this where there's soccer age and there's real life age?
Yes. So Africans, we have so many challenges in that we don't invest. If they see that you have a certain type of talent, they need to expose you to certain things. By the way, the type of writing I did with this book, the quality of education that I've received throughout my life made it so difficult for me to write this kind of book in the manner that I did. And if you look at all my 3 books, this is only the book that is written in 3rd person. The other books, it's I.
So what are you saying?
What I'm telling you is that it's very difficult. It was difficult. There are times where I want to paint a certain picture when I'm writing, but I can't. Because data ya depleted. So have you ever played 30 seconds with people where the quality of your education and exposure lets you down?
Yeah.
I went mad. So my mother likes watching the news, so she's well informed. So I was so mad. I was looking for Patricia DeLille. I think my sister is there. I was looking for Patricia DeLille during the 30 seconds, and the people did not know who Patricia DeLille was. I was beside. I went crazy. And then I turned to my mom. I said, tell them. And she said, no, Patricia DeLille. And I said, le useless. Because I also want to win. Yeah. So with Pitso, imagine playing 30 seconds with Pitso. and you don't know.
Everyone is going to leave crying. Leave pizza.
Yeah, because he wants to win. So you affect even the players. He will tell them, Urwena, my kids go to expensive schools. And if they fire me here, I won't afford school fees. And when you are busy missing chances here, the next game, you are not playing. And he will also tell players, Urwena, we will massage you now because you are on form. One day I'll find you in the corner.
And that's a threat, Mara. He was threatening.
But there's issue as a nation of mental health.
Yes.
When we become sweet to certain people, some of them, they relax. To some of them, we just need to tell them where to get off so that we can really charge them and fire them to perform. So someone you want us to hug you all the time, change your diapers, kiss you, all those things. And that's one of the biggest problems we have in South Africa when it comes to performance. They won't tell you, we don't tell each other the truth. But this one, let me not say
like
this one.
Like when we born a soccer or go writing.
Yes.
Yeah, I get you.
Thank you, my lady.
Let's talk about when Patrice entered the soccer staff, when he entered Sundowns, right? And then you also say, by the time, sometimes go Sundowns, so the parking lot looked like a Santon car dealership, or you go Pretoria East.
Yes.
But on the field, that's what you said, Hassan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's in the book. So, meaning they were paid well, obviously. They had the money, they could afford these nice cars, but on the pitch,
Dry.
Yes, good. I'm trying to save my job, so I'm trying to find words. When come. So I'm trying to. Plus, all my bosses are here. Hosea, I'm in trouble today. So on the pitch, and when I give a favor Sundowns, you see my trouble.
Yeah, such.
So
pressure.
on the field, they were not looking like the parking lot by where they practice until then. Pitso came, right? He came with his strategies, and he got along with. Did he get along with everybody? Actually, let's start there.
No. In Pitso's world, nothing else matters as long as we win.
Does he have friends?
Yes, he does have friends, but Pitso his main thing is football.
He doesn't care about nothing else, ne?
It's football. So you need to understand his life is structured this way. He goes to training. After training Sundowns, he has to do admin work with people, research, which are the players. And then he also has to attend to crisis of players, or no, this one is lacking. So you'll have meetings with them. Then you'll have meetings with his coaches. Then you'll have meetings with management. Then there'll be the late night meetings with Motsepe. And then he's also a father. He's also a husband. He has to be at home. Yeah. In the book, I do mention he did an article on Sowetan newspaper that there was Thursday nights, I think they were reserved for him and his wife to do movies and other things. So
date nights, yes.
Yeah. So that even fell off because there was football playing around that particular time. So you need to understand, will Pitso really rock up at somebody's braai? How many funerals do you think he has missed? Because teams are playing on Saturday. He's somewhere in Africa, he's somewhere in the Middle East and all that. Yeah. But it's the kind of dedication to his work that people also have to understand. Yeah. That he is on this thing and he's got this burning desire. I think Pep Guardiola, one of the top football coaches in the world, he's been going through divorce. And he's also crazy. Actually, he's very crazy about the football. He's winning. If you are to win, you have to stand out. You have to sacrifice certain things.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, about the sacrifices, because and as much as anybody is passionate about whatever it is that they do, there is a certain aspect in your life where it's going to fall short, where it's going to lack. Like as a family man, I don't think he's a present dad or a present husband based on the level of results and the level of work that he does and the results that he produces. Because there's only 24 hours in a day. Bawan lied with that whole 25-hour day thing. So the balance, something has got to suffer, which is the family and the sacrifices. Does that even make him more crazier when, because I feel like his level of madness went and like it keeps going up. So that's what makes him even more crazy. Like, I could be with my kids and you're messing up. I could be with my wife and you're messing up. Instead of, isn't there a balance? Couldn't he find a balance? Instead of, I am a good dressing room, I say hi.
He wants to win. Win.
I just don't get
so,
it. Like,
but here's the thing.
How can I balance somewhere in between?
No, but you need to understand.
Yeah.
But have you seen Pitso and his family go on a holiday? But
I don't know,
and do you know
actually.
Do you know how much he's worth? Do you know his salary, for example? Million and above. On a monthly basis. So, and the kind of hard work that he puts in, he gets that million. And then he can take his kids to Formula One. He can go to holidays that you and I dream of. So, actually, there is balance.
There is?
Yeah, because I think there was a time where he drove all the way to see his son. When the season goes, when it's off season, he gets the pleasure of becoming a normal dad, where he can drive the kids to their various activities. And yeah, by the way, with my book, I didn't really dwell much on Pitso as a family man and all that. So because it's I'm doing an assessment of Pitso as a coach. So that's why I look at his coaching career, not much of him as a player, not much of him as a father or a husband. That's why I didn't really touch much on those kind of things. My interest is in his public life, which is in the public domain. Hence, the content of the book, it's something that can be traced here and there.
Okay.
I just used my wisdom to maneuver and navigate.
Yeah, and now I know him better now because of you. Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to the audience, but before I do, his beef with Robert Marawa. Ne? You say it started with Marawa's sister.
No, it's not me.
Kima?
No, you didn't.
No, like Kafa. No, Hosea. You want to take this outside? Keep it after, like I would see, good for you. After game is after game. After conversations is after conversations.
Yeah, but you are misquoting me, and I'm a journalist.
Okay, sorry. How did the beef start? And Alemarawa, that lasted
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
How did the beef start? Ibile marawa are beef or chicken or mutton?
Yeah. So, but those who are in football, they know about that. It's been out there. They kissed and made up on June 29.
They kissed and made up.
Last year. So, but you need to look at the personalities. So both Pitso and Robert are big personalities. If they step on each other, who will have the humility to say sorry?
Sure, but also that chapter that you wrote, sorry to cut you off a bit, but that chapter that you wrote about them, you ate. You know, as the young ones say, you ate. Because you also, you were carrying on to say now, you said there is no one like Pitso of his generation. There is no one like Marawa of his generation also. So you have these two giants going at it.
So, and actually when they kissed and made up, I had mixed emotions.
Oh.
One, I was excited that they are making up, but I was also mad because they messed up a chapter. So, but the way, yes, the way in which I had opened that chapter, it was probably the most beautiful, it was so awesome.
But it still is, you ate.
No, but you don't know the original.
Oh, what was
no,
the original?
like the original intro, Woo. Like, I'm telling you, like, the original intro, the way in which I had written it, ne? Actually, let me just tell you something.
Guys,
So, that chapter,
150.
I made a friend, one of my friends.
Chapter 12, guys, is the one that ribuang kayo.
So, I made one of my friends to read that chapter, ne? When I was still writing. And the friend had promised to give me 10,000 rands for the production of the book.
You have nice friends.
I have nice friends and nice family, actually. Because I don't have sponsors, so I've got friends and family that just support my craft.
Good for you.
Yeah, and shout out to those who support me.
Please.
Those who have me.
The family.
Those who have me on their Capitec as a beneficiary. Thank you for the e-wallet.
Thank you for
and
the
everything. Publicly so the friend had promised to give me just 10K. But after the friend read, they said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll give you 20K.
Allah!
That's
this one.
The one that you missed. So, but I only changed the first 3 paragraphs. But that one, I think I'll show it to you. You know with the movies, ne? When we used to buy DVDs, only that part about deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you the.
Second edition.
No, I'm no longer writing that. I'm not changing anything.
Second edition. Yeah, but you're right.
Nothing. I'll be spoiling it.
No, but this chapter. What do you mean? When I read it, I was like, yeah, no. Mutokyo wakwala. Can't deleted. So how much did you make after Ibala friend did this one?
File 20K.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
How right?
I don't know. Una literally moved. Move chapter 1 of your book. Yeah.
But also this could be such a nice documentary, like this book translated into a documentary. This would be awesome, Hosea.
Yes.
This is great work that you've
done. Part of the reasons in South Africa, especially in sports and in the African community, we are sitting on gold mine when it comes to stories.
Yes.
So we need, can you believe, at this moment, there's not a book on Kaiser Motaung, the founder of Kaiser Chiefs, who founded the club at the age of 23. And Chiefs is now one of the biggest institutions on the African continent, and actually globally so. We don't have such a story. We don't have a book on Jomo Sono, a man who left his own wedding and went to score goals for Orlando Pirates. You don't have a book on Asin Zoleng, who was playing in America. Guess what happened? At some point, Kaiser Chiefs was playing at Orlando Stadium. They are losing the game. And then Asin Zoleng was in America. And then there was a helicopter hovering around. The whole stadium went, ace. So, we don't have such stories. There are so many incredible stories. So, we have a lot of soccer stars. I would have loved to read a book about John Shoes Mushwe, who was an absolute fantastic footballer. And I may want to write a book on Shoes, but I don't have the time. Like right now, I don't know. Maybe at some point. Because Shoes as a footballer, he is actually the specimen. He embodies what it means to be a South African footballer. If anyone wants to be a South African footballer, they need to study Shoes. So I can do the anatomy of Shoes Mushwe, what was in his brain. Shoes had a book in each and every room at his house. So the intellectual investment, and also the physique, the skills, and everything. Where are those books? They are footballers that I never got to watch. I never got to cover them. But what happened? And also, black people, now, let me say it Kaspedi. As Batubabansu, because Arena these stories. Do you know that storytelling is originally African?
Yes.
So on TED Talks, those ones that they make millions and inspire you. It's an African concept of telling stories. If you look at the history of telling stories. But we are not telling the stories. And people are telling our stories. And
they're
look
changing.
at the major biographies of politicians and sports stars in this country. They are not written by black people. And in one book, somebody wrote about Paballo, and they said it means something that doesn't mean that. And Remo, the language. Then Wala Buka, Yengwe, oh, congrats. She's about to drop a book or dropped a book.
This is not about me.
Oh, okay.
But thank you. Thank you so much. But this is not about me. This is about you. I want to open it up to the audience. If you have a question, if you could please raise your hand. There will be a gentleman who comes to you with a roaming mic. And then when you do receive the mic, if you could please get on your feet and introduce yourself and then proceed to ask your question. Please note that you are on camera. So the footage can be used on TikTok. No, Gadlala, it's not going to be used on TikTok. But just note that when you do stand up, if that is you agreeing that you're going to be on camera. So by the show of hands, I'm going to wait to hear from... guys, let's go on. I'm just going to hear from my guy in my ear who will tell me when we do have a question. So in terms of... I never want to speak about how the book ends because I want the readers to enjoy it. I never want to ruin it. We can dissect the middle, but also the way that you ended this thing. Come on. Listen, give yourself a belt because I was like, what? Have you ever been so satisfied and dissatisfied because of an ending? Like, who fedile what okaring kabala gape how no one more? But that was a brilliant finish to an absolutely beautiful book. And the title of that chapter also. Come on. That's why it took you almost a decade to put this work together. Now we understand. Okay, yes. 4. Did you say 4? Okay.
Thanks to newly minted authors. I'm quite chuffed. I had to make it even though I didn't RSVP by all means necessary. I didn't want to say, Hosea, I'm coming when I send you a message that keep my book. My name is Themba Sputukele. I worked for the Soweto newspaper for many, many years. And this morning, or this afternoon actually, after one of my meetings, I was thinking of many writers or journalists that I worked with at the Sowetan, who past and present never written anything. And Hosea says that we have a gold mine. And this is what we have been bemoaning as black journalists for many years, that when are we writing? 1, congratulations that you've done that. 2, expect criticism. Naysayers who won't be happy that this young boy from Limpopo has done this, because we normally don't. We sit in our corner and become critics and cynics and detractors. So I'm here to say to you, you've done a very incredible job. And I'm glad that I'm going to live here with 3 signed books, yours, Tebogo, and another author, Ike, here. I'm going to live with 3 signed books. That's why I came here, actually. So keep up the good work. However, tell us what have been the pleasures, the pains, and perils of being a black author. Moreover, coming from Limpopo. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for that question. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who know, the gentleman that just sat down asked the question. Well, obviously you know him. Sputukele wrote an absolutely beautiful book titled Being a Spokesperson. When I read that book, I was sitting in my room and I was crying. I met my hero and I didn't even know it. He's my absolute hero. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I have plans after this. Makeup was last. Yeah, you want to answer?
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming and also your kind words.
No,
they are really comforting. The pleasures and the pains and the perils of writing. The writing process, it's pleasurable, and it's also painful because you have to. By the way, my two editors actually, they made me to. I think there's about 3,000 words that got deleted from one chapter. They went like, one went like, this chapter is, this part is not supposed to go into this book. And I felt like, wow, I nailed this one. And I get the juicier one. And then the other editor, because if you can see, part of the things that are in this book is things that are not out there in the public. So there's information that I'm privy to that I had put in the book, and I said, yeah, no, I did the things that make the pot.
Yeah.
But he said to me, and he said, okay, Hos, let's talk. Is this in the public's interest, or is this interesting to the public? If we are to, and then he says, if we remove this, what will you miss? And you know, with the latest act of information and all that, it's new things that just came through.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, let's leave this one. I'm like, Bara, I'm showing brilliance, yeah. And it's like, yeah, it's okay. So sometimes you get those kind of things. I coach people to write books. And as a coach, I think I'm similar to Pitso, because I grill you. But at the end, I'm like, it's me and you boxing, the two of us. But when we go out there in public, you'll be shining on Instagram and all that. But in the background, for example, my other editor, when we're doing the final things on the book, I found 80 mistakes in this book. My editor found close to 200 mistakes in the book. And as you are holding that book, there's only one mistake in that book.
Don't say it. I didn't see it. Don't ruin it for me.
No, you won't see it. No one will see it.
No.
Only 1%. Actually, one guy actually found the mistake and said, hey, Hos.
Don't ruin it for us.
No, I won't tell you the mistake. You'll be feeling so good that when you are reading, that you'll forgive me. So, but the business of writing and publishing, it's also a serious pain.
Yeah.
You know, the whole value chain as far as the kind of percentages you have to get and all that. But we need to write. You write to express your pain and also to express your pleasures.
Yeah.
So we also need people like Ntate Themba with his book. He should be here. I once asked about my favorite writer in South Africa is Ntikeng Motlele. You've heard him. Yes. I said that if Ntikeng and Zoda Wabantu were to walk into a mall, the masses are going to flock to Zoda. While Ntikeng is such a genius, the literary genius in that, and I use
Why is Zota catching strays?
No, she's not catching strays. The masses will be glamoring for her and not Ntikeng. Ntikeng.
I hear you.
Yeah, so.
And he's exceptional. Yeah.
He's exceptional. So he is the Messi of writing, and then Zex Mda is Maradona. And I don't know where's Hosea Ramphekwa in that equation.
You lost me with that because I don't know.
You don't know who Messi is?
I know who Messi is. I know he kicks the ball. That's what I know.
No, he doesn't kick the ball. Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, despite the challenges in writing, we just have to keep on doing it. But right now, we don't read enough as a nation. They say, if you want to hide anything from black people, put it in a book. My book, Gifted, Hunted and Haunted, it's 150 rands. And Amarula, it's 169 rands.
Stop. Stop, Hosea. Another hand, please.
Okay, please.
Hosea,
yeah. I'll behave.
Okay.
And
also, every time there's a demise of an artist, I always go back to your book.
Yeah.
Every single time, every time I hear the news, at the age of what, he passes away, I always go back to Gifted, Hunted, and Haunted. Yeah. Thank you for the work that you do. Yes, thank you. Yes, please.
Molweni.
Akhe.
Igama lam nguLuthando Zibeko.
Luthando.
Trumpis.
Yeah, I first want to congratulate my brother, Hosea. And I think just passing here to tell you guys that he is a better human being than he is an author.
He's a better human being than he's an author, he said.
Yes.
Okay.
Back in 2017, I had a dream through my foundation, Luthando Zibeko, to build a library for an orphanage in Atteridgeville. And one of the people I spoke to, because I was doing a book drive, and I just see one of the special people at my foundation, since we started work together, supported me, Mr. Tulani Ngobo. So as we did that event, Hosea agreed to come and be the guest speaker and donated books. So I made a wish that day to say that the following year I would love to come here and then to open a library. He made that dream come true, and today as I speak, standing here, there's a library, a mini library for the kids in Atteridgeville, and my friends sitting here
Come on, somebody.
came through for me to brought substance to the campaign that I was doing. And when he spoke about hope, he means it in the true sense of the word, because he gave hope to those kids. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Ngobo, in 2021, that home we had the first graduate since we started the relationship in 2008. And it's people like him. I've not read much of his books. I'm talking here about the human being, you know, and I'm just here to congratulate you. I can imagine how difficult it is. My brother there probably worked with the like of Brazil or Rabotata, and some of the top journalists, you know, this country has produced. I mean, Jakes, I have a lot of them. When I came into the media room, you know, you would not even want to stand up, you know, to go dish for yourself, because I'm a Khutman, I'm a Dala, you know, and Hosea came and changed the game. So I want to congratulate to my brother, and I want to wish you all the best. Just one question, man. With AI now, you know, we have Vutela and you know, someone just writes the book and without putting much thought. Just how the currently, you know, with what is it? Are we in the fifth generation? What they call it? Fourth. We're still in the fourth. Yes, yeah. So just how difficult, you know, with all these challenges, with the technology, with AI, and also, I mean, I can, through all these apps, download books. Instead of buying it and having you signing it for me, you know, I can just download it and all this. Just how difficult this is, and what do you think South African government should do, you know, to help, you know, writers, you know, like you know, with all this that is happening, and how easy it is for people to access other people's intellectual property, you know, and all that, you know. So, yeah, man, so that's just my one question. Thank you so much, and greetings to everyone. One love.
Thank you, Relutando.
Thank you. Yeah, Trumpis, your question and your comments are my favorite by far. Made me feel good. And now having brothers like you in the room also gives me comfort and confidence. Yeah, your question is interesting. Just on AI, maybe on writing, as a writing coach, I also do publishing. So people who write through AI, I turn them away. We can't be dealing with machines.
Because honestly, you can tell, right?
You can tell.
I always feel like when you read stuff, guys, we can tell.
No, you can tell or no when. So what? Guess what?
What?
That kid is now a millionaire. And he just hired me to do some consultancy work for him and he's paying me.
Yes, yes.
Imagine if I turned that kid away when I felt like I was something else.
Yeah.
So, really jiga in life.
All the time.
Yeah, so thanks so much. I talk a lot.
I know,
only
and then
two
people want you to sign their books and take pictures.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. You have been an outstanding audience. Hosea, I'm forever going to be grateful to you for the work that you do. I always say, and I have a conversation, this is my favorite conversation. I said this the last time, and I said I mean it, and I'm saying it again. You know, I collect stunning books. This is definitely going into the figurine, because this body of work is beautiful. And you wrote it graciously, you wrote it generously, you wrote it beautifully. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for introducing the rest of us to Pitso who didn't know him as much. So those who know him are even going to love him even more. All thanks to you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Part of studies done by Harvard, all these journals and all that, they came to a conclusion that the people who read books, they are kind, nice, empathetic, loving, caring, wiser, and all that. They make better arguments and so on. What do we have in the country? We have a serious problem of crime and violence. A man who reads books and a man who doesn't read, what happens? Some of us, we are not really nice people. But the beasts that we have on the inside are tamed by reading. So if we can have a serious campaign, and there are many people who are authors in this room. I see Anna there, others at the back, and also States is writing a book. I won't tell you the many people that are writing books here.
I'm seeing future guests.
Yes, they'll come to your podium. So here's the thing. We need a serious campaign on reading in this country. Right now, there's a problem of bullying in schools. Because it's all about power. We need to show power, so what do? We fight. By the way, I'm pleased to announce to you and the rest of the audience that I've not been involved in a physical fight in 23 years. The last time Ikebetamu took at Lapa, it was 2003. And with the reading of the books and all that, I've become a better human being compared to what I used to be. If you read my book, Gifted, Hunted, and Haunted, you'll know how my mother's prayers and Tupaya Murula molded me to become a better human being. I may not be the true reflection of what my parents thought, but I think they did a better job. But can we read? Our government needs to put more money into arts and so on. Look at the Americans that we idolize. Do you know that you drop a book in America at 8 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock midday, you are a bestseller? The books that
New York Times.
Yes. The books that take me 10 years to sell, in America you sell those in a month. And until when are we going to say, no, black people don't read and so on? And by the way, everyone who's in this room, you might as well go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause because it means that you have interest in the books. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hear we have 2 questions. I'm going to round up. So get last 2. But after conversations, go parking lot. So I apologize. I saw 2, 3, and then say Vala Lento with the ma'am in the white. You will be the last lady to bring it home for us, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Thobela.
Okay.
Ke nna Valencia Mojapelo, one of the mentees tša ga Hosea. Ke a o lebogiša kgaetšedi ya ka. I've been scribbling for the rest of my life. Ke na le di-pieces tša mosebetsi o makgethe. Some languages of South Africa. But when I met Hosea, he rendered me useless. The first task with 25,000 words. Anar sister wela he uthoma fase.
25,000.
Yes. Because I was all over the show. So when I saw this advert, ya buka ya Pitso Mosimane, I love Pitso. My younger brother is Pitso. So Pitso means a calling. And I'm glad that this evening he had portrayed Pitso for who he is. He has a calling, and we appreciate that you have picked him and wrote about him. But back to the questions. What makes a great book? Thank you.
What makes a great book? Can I take the 3 questions so that you do an umbrella response next?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Let's take the gentleman.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Tulani Ngobo. I'm well known as Ngobo 2010. I'm a football lover, a supporter. But to you, my brother, as Uluchando just said, first time I met you and I saw a great person, and thank you once more, for gracing us with those books. And the kids there are very happy because of those books. I had a lot of questions, but I'll just ask just 2 questions, short questions. Uguti, out of all the coaches, as you said, Uguti, in football, we have got Abachomo Sono, Kaizer Motaung, and others who need such books and all that. Why did you choose, to write a book, about Pitso Mosimane? My first question. My second question is that you mentioned that, it took you 8 years, to write this book. Why did you release it now? Thank you.
Okay, let's take another. I can already know the journalist. Yes.
Dumela Magaiso.
Okay.
Le kae?
Re teng le kae?
Lebitso la ka ke Martin Manamela.
Ntse ke kopa o remele ka dinao tlhera.
Eba.
Please. Ke a leboga gore camera khone go tlanya sentle.
Oh, ke makitse gore ke punishiwa ke ntse mo morago ka. Ba banga ke re ne ba sa emi ya no ene go motelle ka tlhago. Okay, all right. No, thank you me. Ya mpona camera e kae?
Di go libile. Aba,
a ke re mpoleletse ka camera so santse mpona. Thobela. Mine is not so much of a question, but go leboga se Hosea a se etsang. I remember a few years back, the tables have turned today. I hosted a seminar where I was mentoring writers, and I remember he was there. It's a couple of years back in the audience. And I'm so excited today that I'm an audience, part of the audience, and he's over there. For me, it's such an amazing thing. And I'm not saying this to say I mentored him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he was part of the audience.
Yeah.
All right? So I'm very, very grateful to see him, writing the way he does. But secondly, the question of South Africans not reading. One of the ways that I normally tell people, my fellow authors, I say to them, I found some of the ways, not best ways maybe, but it's some of the ways that works. I'm a writer who sometimes, I like what you said when you said, and it can become a documentary. Some of the people don't like reading words that are written, but they like watching words, and that's how they read. And that's what we also need to think about, because it doesn't mean that when a person is not reading a paper pack, then they are dumb. They can also read the very same book in a different way. Maybe even in a movie. It's still reading, because they are gaining information. One of the things that I do, I turn my books into seminars. And I train people, through the modules that I will do through the book. One of the ways also that I do is, I design training manuals as well for different companies as institutions, where I will go and be a speaker. So people will listen as I speak, but afterwards, then they're interested in reading the book. I'm saying this because I'm sitting here, all I thought was, but I'm just going to hear about Pitso Mosimane and his life in soccer, but I had more than that today. Actually, I got business strategies out of this conversation. For me, it's a success mentality. That's what I drew from the book today, more than just read, an autobiography of Pitso. So I'm just saying that there's just many ways that we can help people to read. One of the things, I remember I interviewed Hosea on my radio show with other authors, and I liked the fact that we were disagreeing there. It was very nice. We were having a conversation. But I had that radio show as part of the book that I wrote. So I wrote a book and turned it into a radio show. I'm just saying there's many ways to read a book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Valuable. Obuchal. Yes, can we take the gentleman in the white cap and then to the lady in the white jacket? Hosea white there.
Thanks so much. I was afraid of asking a question because... Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was afraid of asking a question because I was going to be all over the place. But I have some notes, so they'll help me out. Non-literary nations. I was reading about this a few weeks ago. Non-literary nations fight the most. So countries where women are not allowed to read, or children are not allowed to read, fight the most. Our cultures are not on paper. So I was getting married. There's no paper that explains what I should do in my culture. So even how we grow up and how we do things in a system, we have non-literary cultures. So other people have 2,000 years of literature. So we need to start writing it down. I was adding on to the grassroots football. I went to live my dream this past weekend. I was a soccer coach for the first time and the last time.
When the last time?
No, I don't think it's for me. It's a lot of work, but also, which gets me to my next point. Grassroots football has so much issues. When you speak to doctors, they don't deal with medicine most of the time at work. They deal with socioeconomic issues. So a lot of issues we have in football are not football issues. We have socioeconomic issues. I haven't understood. So as I was coaching, I was asking them, "Do you guys understand geometry?" Because it's the study of shapes. And if you play soccer, they teach you shapes. And do you understand trigonometry? Because shapes is trigonometry explains spheres, which is shapes in 3D. So it's these things are things which a footballer is at an advantage when they know. My mantra in life is that it's always better to have it and not use it. and not use it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So my question to you is that how can we help young kids at their level to start interacting with literature in ways that can benefit their future? And my last one, the set I must ask, is that you spoke about a revolution. What part can they contribute? What role can they play in that revolution? How can they volunteer, contribute? What part can they play in it?
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. You have all this done, eh? 'Cause these are
Yeah.
brilliant questions coming. Yes, and then my lady will close it, will bring it home for us while you do an umbrella response. Yes, ma'am.
Dumelang everyone.
Okay.
My name is Nakaogelo Mutwa. I came here because of this book. I'm not a writer. I'm just a football lover. I love this gentleman. I love Coach Pitso Mosimane. I'm also a fan of Mamelodi Sundowns. So, Pitso Mosimane, he's that coach that even though I went to the stadium, immediately when I get back home, I just want to see his interview with journalist. Always, I just want to listen to his interview. It was very much interesting. And I would like to thank the writer, Mr. Hosea, for this book. We really, really, really needed something like this in the football culture. You took my question. He took my question. That was my first question. I wanted to ask Mr. Hosea, like, why out of all these coaches, you managed to choose this one?
Yeah.
Out of all these coaches. And secondly, if you would write a book about a soccer player, I know you spoke about Shus Mushoyo. Which soccer player would you write about? And it would be nice for us to get a book about a certain soccer player.
Nice.
And now I forgot. Oh yeah, when you guys were speaking about this book, I felt like, no man, I want to go home now and start reading this book right now. Yeah, I wanted to just go home right now and start reading this book. And a documentary part, I just told him, when he was talking about the book, I was like, no. They have to document this. And it would be nice for me to be part of the document because Dr. Pitso Mosimane is a very, very much interesting person. Thank you, everyone.
He is, and because you're going home to read, you are in for a treat. You are in for a treat. And from somebody who didn't know very much about him, I enjoyed it. So go, you have a cue card full. Go for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. Valencia, what makes a great book? Maybe let me talk about the kind of book I want to read. I want to read a book that is well written, informative, well researched, and it's got flair, the playing of the words and so on. I think I want to read the books that I write.
I was just about to say, but you wrote that, so.
Yes, the type of books that I write, I think I want that.
Yeah.
So it's because you have 3 types of writers, or maybe 2 types. Those who know what to write and those who know how to write. And then if you're a writer, you have both the what to write and the how to write. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite writers is a novelist. He's called Dean Koontz. Is well over 500 copies sold. And guess what? He wrote a book about his dog. Just a dog. It was a service dog, a golden retriever. And then just the life. One day he set to write, and then the dog was looking from the corner of the eye. Actually, that became the first sentence of his novel. From the corner of his eye. And then he just wrote that book.
Yeah.
He wrote about the dog. I also wrote about my mother's dog. It lived for 11 years. Because it's incredible for a dog to actually live for 11 years from my village where they poison dogs. And one of the things that made my mom's dog to live longer, it's because Nesa Jimmy, you understand? And when I write about my mom's dog, you should check on my Facebook if it's still there. I wrote that my mom's dog called Biggie was a dog that didn't know that he doesn't know. Because after losing the teeth, because we live on the main road in Tzani. So after losing the teeth, my mom's dog, any dog that passes by, it's a no-fly zone for dogs. So my mom's dog will go into a fight without knowing that I no longer have the teeth to fight. And that's one of the problems in life.
Sometimes that picture of yours running with is that the dog?
Yeah. It's yeah, if you saw that picture. So I just want to write, I want to read beautifully told stories. That's why, so Valencia feels, she's one of my students, so I was coaching her to write.
You took her 25,000 words and said no.
Yes, and you know what's the problem, nah? One of the challenges, let's consult experts. Right now, okay, my sister is here. Whenever you have flu, my sister will do the ginger mixture, but she's not a medical doctor. But from the goodness of her heart, she does that, but she's not an expert. So I need to go to a doctor. So let us find coaches in whatever. Oh, by the way, when I'll be getting married at some point in my life, I'm going to have a sex coach, among other things, so that I can know.
Please stick to the,
the
question.
So, a great book. A great book, it's a book that has all the ingredients and everything else. So, it has to be nice, it has to be in a certain way. Why do you like the musician that you like?
Yeah.
Why do you have the friends that you have? So, I've got variety of friends. So, others are quiet, others they talk a lot.
Others are moneyed.
Yeah, others are moneyed, others are not moneyed, and all that. So, a great book has to have everything good under the sun, as far as writing is concerned.
Yeah.
So, there are books that are informative, but they are not interesting. Like I only read 2 categories of books, the rest I don't read.
And also, you're taking in manuscripts, right? You're helping, you're opening it so that so people who are interested, here's your plug.
Yes, but I'm best at starting with you from the first sentence so that I don't make you cancel 25,000 words.
I hear you.
Yeah. And the next question. You're welcome. I'm looking forward to your email. I'll go to Brother Martin. Brother Martin and I used to go to the same church. And me seeing Brother Martin having written a book served as a form of encouragement to say this thing is doable. And he doesn't stop. He's probably writing another book. As we are talking, I don't know, but I'm really, Brother Martin, top writer, great motivational speaker. I heard that you said you got business strategies, kikupa 10% with a tither. And then Tulani Ngobo. Oh yeah, you've seen the man, 2010, when we were doing the World Cup and all that. Yeah, we met a while ago. I will encapsulate this question with the question of Khaorelo. Thanks for coming, Khaorelo, and the kind words you've said. And on why Pitso, in terms of achievement or achievements, accolades, trophies, all that, Pitso is without equal in the country. Top coach. So I thought if I needed to write a top book, I needed to get a top subject. So that's why I went for Pitso. And also the fact that I've spent, because part of, when I was working for the Pretoria News, my work was to cover Sundowns and Supersport every day.
Yeah.
So I would interview Pitso on a regular. Yeah, and the kind of information that I got from him. And by the way, Pitso is so passionate about coaching that I remember when I was playing in the media league, Pitso called me aside one day. It's like, Hos, you are very young. I think I was one of the top scorers, even despite my lack of talent.
It was a good day.
No. It was a good season.
No, it was a good season.
Hey,
Yes.
by the way, and I'm also a qualified soccer coach, but I want to coach kids only. The older people, so many issues there. So Pitso once called me and said, no, you are young. You should be the top scorer here. You should be scoring lots of goals. But I did not end up as the top scorer, but I probably was the top scorer of my team. So Pitso is such an incredible personality that I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
And I thought, because also I want to penetrate the market in terms of writing stories about sporting heroes in this country. Because I've read, do you know how many books are there on Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola?
Listen.
Lots of books. And we don't even have one about some of our heroes. So I thought I should start at the top with the top coach.
Yeah.
So today you arguably have a top book, and
That's a
I'm
fact.
delighted. And then you asked which soccer player would I want to write about. I'm conflicted on this question because I'm in talks with some soccer players, and some of them are my friends. Imagine I mentioned the one.
And then Ola, yeah, no.
And then I'm busy negotiating with the art. But I can tell you, whoever I write about next in the football space, whether it's a coach or it's a player, they'll be at the top.
Yeah.
I know so many incredible stories, and I would want to share those stories with you. Like now,
Absolutely.
you feel you and Pitso are on
Absolutely.
first name basis.
I feel like hey, Mosimane Emamo. You know, I feel like I would have something to ask him or something to say
Yes,
to him.
and then the last question, if I'm not mistaken, it's from States. Or how can we help the younger ones? And also the kind of revolution we need to bring.
And to meet them where they are, pretty much.
Yes. So, as a nation, we need to do a lot in helping the next generation.
Yeah.
In terms of writing books, doing documentaries, films, and so on. By the way, if you look at the behavior of our society, we have been influenced by the Americans, whose culture has really infiltrated us. And not everything from America is good.
That's true.
And they have glamorized a lot of things, and that are here in our society. Yeah, let me leave the politics, but the thing is, we just need to work as a nation. We need to really define, we need a serious family meeting on the things that are bothering us.
Fellow South Africans.
Yeah, real meetings.
Okay.
And do you know why we don't have a revolution in this country? And if you look at the socio-economic issues that we have, in the coming years, you are going to have to buy groceries for your house, and then you also budget the grocery that people are going to rob you. When they come, you say, no, because
I didn't see that one coming.
yes, because we are going down. With every generation, there's moral denigration.
I hear you there.
The era that I was raised, it's hard for me to sit down while an elderly person is here. And actually not greeting an elderly person, in my culture, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And also, from my culture, putting on a cap in a house or kokreking. When I came to Gauteng and then I saw people worshiping the Lord with the caps on, I used to be offended. Now I'm no longer offended.
You adjusted.
I adjusted.
It's
So
fine.
we will normally adjust to some of the anomalies as life goes on.
Yeah.
But if we write and we do enough, some of us, we may not change the world. Because if I want to really implement the things that I have, like I do want to, that's why we need to commend people like Bo Lutando with the foundation. I don't think Lutando has all the money in the world. He was a journalist like me. Whatever we're earning, I don't think it will enable Lutando to make impact in society. But with the little that he has and the heart that he has, he managed to gather resources. So if all of us, and there's this problem we have in African community, this is my last thing. Why is it that we always want to help people when they are down and out? Why don't you invest in me? Seeing that I'm this writer, can you bring 100,000 here?
I'm going to pay 20,000.
No, 20,000 I dirisi lo karo patela rente u patela editor if edile chelte. So why is it that we help people whenever? So look at those kids who went to Cape Town and got a bicycle. All these people now, they are coming out. Yeah. You know why? Some of them are doing it for clout. People won't support you until they see certain people supporting you.
They only support you when it's beneficial.
Yes. So of course. So all of us need to go and work. We just need to go to grassroots and work. Let's uplift one another.
Yeah.
And without looking at the benefits. Because you never know who you might help.
Absolutely.
By the way, I'll give you an example. There's a kid I mentored when I was a journalist. When I was there, my byline, and I'm appearing on TV, radio now and again. This kid just walks into the newsroom one day, and then I take him under my wing, and then I help him. Guess what? On that note, thanks to you also for shining the spotlight on authors, and also this organization and institution. Your bosses are doing a great job.
Oh, they are gorgeous.
Yeah.
My bosses are awesome.
Yeah.
I want to keep my job.
I hope it has nothing to do with the fact that today is payday, that you are, but your bosses, but your bosses are just doing an incredible job by giving us this platform.
Absolutely.
And there are many authors who are in this room. Hopefully they'll come introduce themselves to you so that you can host them. We need more. May this program continue and may it reach greater heights.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for coming. But all of you have a special place in my heart. Thank you so much.
Bring a book, let's get it signed. That was fantastic. I need to get up. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
I must try TikTok. But not now.